What is up guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Noman and today's analysis video is going to be about the Premier League game between Chelsea and Manchester United. So Manchester United lined up in a 4-2-3-1 formation which changed to a 4-3-3 in the second half after the introduction of Edinson Cavani. While Chelsea, on the other hand, changed their formation to a back 3 for this game, and they mostly had a 3-4-1-2 or 3-4-2-1 formation on the ground, with Kai Havertz playing just behind Pulisic and Timo Werner. Chelsea actually started the game really well, and they had total control of possession during the first half. So this is how the two teams were lined up on the ground. Chelsea's 3-4-2-1 against Manchester United's 4-2-3-1 formation. Whenever Chelsea tried to build their play, Marcus Rashford, Daniel James and Mata would press the three Chelsea centre-backs, with the full-backs also moving up to press the Chelsea wing-backs. This actually left Bruno Fernandes in a 1v2 position against N'Golo Kante and Jorginho. At the start of the game, Fred and McTominay decided to stay a little low to cover Havertz and Pulisic. So Chelsea were easily able to build their play using the man advantage against Bruno Fernandes. Marcus Rashford is trying to press Thiago Silva, Mata is moving to press Zuma, and Bruno Fernandes is now left in a 1v2 position against N'Golo Kante and Jorginho. Bruno steps out to cover N'Golo Kante, and he leaves Jorginho totally free. Thiago Silva to Jorginho, who gets the attention of Daniel James and Fred, and Jorginho plays a one-touch pass to Azpilicueta. Azpilicueta can now play the ball to Reece James, where Chelsea can isolate Luke Shaw in a 2v1 position against Kai Havertz and Reece James. Here again, Daniel James is pressing Azpilicueta, Mata is pressing Zuma, and Rashford is pressing Mendy. And at the same time, he is also cutting the passing lane to Thiago Silva. Bruno Fernandes is once again left in a 1v2 position against N'Golo Kante and Jorginho. Bruno tries to cover Jorginho, and that leaves N'Golo Kante totally free to receive the ball from Mendy. N'Golo Kante to Zuma, who can now easily play the ball to Ben Chilwell. Since Bruno Fernandes was getting outnumbered against N'Golo Kante and Jorginho, so in order to help Bruno Fernandes, Manchester United decided to move one of the two holding midfielders up to help Bruno Fernandes during the pressing phase, to neutralize Chelsea's man advantage. Fred would often leave his line to press N'Golo Kante, with Bruno Fernandes covering Jorginho. But Chelsea used the man-to-man marking very cleverly to drag Fred out of his position to open the passing lane for Kai Havertz. This time Fred moves up to press N'Golo Kante, who drags him wide to open the space for Kai Havertz to receive the ball from Reece James. And this is where Manchester United had to make a decision, whether to cover N'Golo Kante and Jorginho and help Bruno Fernandes against the Chelsea overload, or stay back and cover Kai Havertz and Pulisic and deny them the space and time. Manchester United decided to leave N'Golo Kante and Jorginho alone, and they decided to focus on Kai Havertz and Pulisic. This way Chelsea were able to build their play with ease, but the deeper positions of Fred and McTominay meant that Pulisic and Kai Havertz now had no space to work with, as Fred and McTominay were at their backs all the time. Marcus Rashford has now dropped in the midfield alongside Bruno Fernandes to help Bruno Fernandes against the Chelsea overload. This way Fred and McTominay could hold their positions and cover Kai Havertz and Pulisic without having to worry about N'Golo Kante and Jorginho. One of the major benefits of keeping this tight marking on Kai Havertz and Pulisic was that Manchester United were easily able to cover the half spaces whenever the Chelsea wingbacks forced the Manchester United fullbacks out of their positions. And this is why Pulisic and Kai Havertz couldn't really do much in this game, as they were always covered by Fred and McTominay. Luke Shaw steps out to cover Reece James, and Kai Havertz immediately attacks the space behind Luke Shaw, but Fred is there to cover the open space. Same thing on the other side as well. Ben Chilwell is forcing Wan-Bissaka to step out to open the gap in the half space for Pulisic. But just like Fred, McTominay is also there to cover the space and Pulisic. McTominay can now delay the attack, and Wan-Bissaka can get back in his position. McTominay and Fred did a very good job of marking Pulisic and Kai Havertz and covering the half spaces for Manchester United. Chelsea's pressing, on the other hand, was very good in the first half, and this was one of the reasons why Chelsea dominated possession in the first half, as Manchester United found it very difficult to build their play. Chelsea's man-oriented high press to block the nearby passing options and force Manchester United to play long passes. And since Chelsea had a clear aerial advantage against Manchester United's front four, so Chelsea were able to get the ball back in no time. Here again, Chelsea's man-oriented high press to deny time and space to Manchester United and force them into playing long passes. But things changed in the second half after the introduction of Edinson Cavani and Paul Pogba. With Pogba and Cavani, Manchester United now had someone who could fight for the aerial duels and help Manchester United win the ball higher up the ground. Despite dominating the possession, Chelsea could not create any clear-cut chances in this game. Manchester United, on the other hand, had a few very good chances to score some goals. Bruno Fernandes was playing in between the lines and he was constantly dragging the Chelsea centre-backs out of their positions to open the gaps for Marcus Rashford. Bruno Fernandes drops deep and he pulls Zuma out of his line to open the gap in Chelsea's defense for the run of Marcus Rashford. This time Thiago Silva leaves his line to cover Bruno Fernandes in between the lines, and now Marcus Rashford is once again totally free to exploit the space in Chelsea's defense. And this was Manchester United's best chance of the game. But other than that, both the teams were pretty much on the back foot in this game, and they were playing very safe. And one man who deserves special appreciation is Edouard Mendy of Chelsea. If it wasn't for Mendy, Chelsea would have definitely lost all 3 points. Chelsea's defense has definitely looked better in the last 2 games, but Chelsea still gave away 2 quality chances to Manchester United, which could have changed the entire picture of the game. A point is not a bad result, but Chelsea have now drawn 4 out of their last 5 games, and they need to get back to winning ways as soon as possible. Thank you so much guys for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.